Welcome to Zidam Astrology. Join me on this journey for your tarot and patra readings, your birth charts inclusive of chakras, crystals and runes. Sign up, share and subscribe. Okay, Fire Trine, we are here once again with you at Zidam Astrology to bring you the Trine concept reading for the period July 10th to 31st for Aries, Leo and Sagittarius. And the first card that we have here is the Four of Pentacles. And the Four of Pentacles speaks to the situation that you are currently facing. And the situation can be about your finances, your career, your goals, your relationship. But the Four of Pentacles is all about investments, all about business, all about your materialistic view on things. Your obsession about your possessions, your acquisitions, and you tend to want to hang on to these things like a hoarder. You become a little miserly, a little bit greedy, and whatever you want to hold on for in this period, it's all about material things, not not your physical person or someone in a relationship or your thoughts and words. It's about your material gains or your material losses that you think you may have during this period. Because if you think that you are going to lose your resources, this is one of the reasons why you might want to hold on to what you have right now, because it would seem that money has always been a big issue with you, and the pressure now should be off, because this Four of Pentacles is telling you that you are going to have a stable foundation in terms of your material resources for a long time. Not just for today or tomorrow, but it looks that your financial situation is going to be stable for a long time. That you have a lot, that you can spend a little, that you can make yourself happy, that you can be a little free, not too much, because times change quickly, and you need to understand that you can't be hoarding all the time, because life is all about giving. Life is also about living. And if you keep hoarding and not spending to get your own comfort, or probably help those around you to be comfortable, then you are not going to be happy. The Four of Pentacles gives you that sometimes you worry unnecessarily about money, because probably your background has not been of the best, or that you have had to work hard. But the Four of Pentacles is telling you that you have now. Your pantry may be overstocked, your car has gas in it, your house does not need any repairs, your children education is good and on the way. Some of them are nearly completed. So that at the end of the day, these are the things that you were worrying about, that you were hoarding for, that you were saving for a rainy day, as we say. But take a breath now. Things are coming to an end for you in terms of, I wouldn't want to say poverty, because I don't know your situation. And how do you view poverty? Is it poverty in a material way, in a relationship way, in an emotional way? I don't know. So whatever this material resources that makes you happy, then let it be known that you're in a good position. Your financial situation is going to be stable for this period, July 10th to the 31st. You need to be a little circumspect, yes, but you can also spray a little, as we say. You can spray a little bit. So that is your situation at this point in time, and let us see what led you to this position. And this position, you got by this position by the Hierophant, and the Hierophant is really the high priest, and it speaks of tradition, it speaks of convention, it speaks of conformity. So whatever values or work that you had to do to reach the stage of the Four of Pentacles, for you to be holding on so tightly, is because you went through the system. You viewed things as being, this is what I have to do because this is how it has been done all the time. It's tradition. It's tradition for me to get up at work for 5 o'clock, to reach for 8 o'clock, to come home at 7, sleep for 2 hours and go again. But things change. Remember, in the past couple of years now, we have hybrid where we work remotely, and it may be something that could continue. So tradition is not something to hold on to. Tradition can change because circumstances change. And the Hierophant is a card for tradition and convention, but sometimes you have to, it will squeeze your creative juices because you don't want to think outside the box. You're not a risk taker, but you don't want to dampen down your creative juices. You don't want it to dampen down to the effect that you don't think for yourself, that you will give away your power to somebody, that you will be controlled by tradition. So that, this is the downside of the Four of Pentacles and the Hierophant. So you need to be a little open, a little risk taker. The traditional approach is recommended, yes, for certain things, but as it is now, the Four of Pentacles is telling you that, don't be that person that you're only following what you see, that you're following and you're not thinking for yourself, that you're giving up your power. The Hierophant is that he appears to offer respectability to those who follow him. And is that respectability an image, an illusion, a shadow? Because you have to understand that the role model that you are looking at and you're trying to imitate, it's all well and good for a period, but you must at some stage strike out on your own. You can't be only looking at what others do and follow their lead. You have to understand that, okay, I'm following their lead because that is what I want to do and it is the best thing for me. It is going to bring me greater things. I am going to grow with it. I'm going to develop with it. People around me will be happy because I am not strict. I am not rigid. I am not just traditional and conventional. I have a little bit of spark in me. So that can be the downside. And you have to have your own beliefs, your own attitudes, and your own opinion. And then what should you consider, seeing that you have this Four of Pentacles and this Hierophant? Let us see what are the factors you have to consider. And the High Priestess. And the High Priestess is telling you that, you have to be self-sufficient. You have to be independent. You have to follow your own path. You must have your own voice and vision, and the High Priestess here is the guardian of vast wisdom, and the wisdom that she brings is not easily shared. You have to show that you want to use that wisdom in the best way, because that wisdom will have you thinking for yourself, following your own path. And if you continue to be the Hierophant, where you are silencing your own voice to give voice to others, to the extent that you are not taking the initiative in anything, then the High Priestess is not going to share her wisdom with you. She's not going to deem you worthy to share her wisdom, so that you will be there. You might be calm, you might be peaceful, but you will not be happy. And the language of the High Priestess is often vague and abstract, and you have to use effort and patience to decipher what the mysteries that she wants you to unravel, or to understand the code that she wants you to have, for you to have that great wisdom. And the High Priestess is also associated with the moon, the bright side of the moon and the dark side of the moon. The bright side of the moon will illuminate a lot of things, but the dark side of the moon brings with it secrecy and mystery. So there are a lot of secrets if you continue in the dark side of the moon. We have the Shukla Paksha and the Krishna Paksha, which is in Vedic astrology, the bright side and the dark side. And the dark side gives you a little, introvert. You want to be by yourself. You want to isolate yourself. But you can't isolate yourself if you are not willing to learn, if you are not willing to delve into a journey by throwing light on the shadow areas in your life. And then you have to understand that if you keep yourself in the dark moon, you would only have secrets hidden. But secrets can only be hidden for a period of time, because there's a saying that I understood, or a quote, that there are three things that will all that or that can never be hidden: the sun, the moon, and the truth. So that at the end of the day, you need to understand that tradition is good, but it is good up to a point, because things change. COVID has taught us that. And the high priestess is telling you, you need to follow your own path. That is the situation with you and your character for this period. And what is the timing? The timing here and the advice or the solution, what as to what to leave in the past, is coming from the Two of Pentacles. And the Two of Pentacles is all about material decisions, financial decisions, juggling finances, your cash flow, you balancing life, ups and downs, keeping yourself on your toes. And this card deals with um, the ups and downs of keeping control of your finances and your life. But keeping control of your finances doesn't mean that you have to hoard it, that you have to, be a miser with it. When this card appears, the Two of Pentacles, it it means that you are going through a temporary period where there seems to be more money going out than coming in, but you still have enough. You can work out who to pay first. You can prioritize. You can you can bind yourself to it and be stressed out and have fear all the time about it being scarce, or you can work towards something better. And that is your choices. You may need to make some cutbacks and tighten your belt a little bit, but in the long run, you will have enough to make yourself happy. And in the upright position, this card indicates that you can manage. You can manage the finances you have, even though it might seem overwhelming. It's overwhelming in this period, not forever. And you just have to keep on top of things and just not let anything slide. And if you wanted to keep on top of things, you cannot be the Hierophant. You cannot have that influencing you all the time. You have to be a little bit of the High Priestess, where you don't worry excessively. And the Two of Pentacles, it also relates to your physical life, and it can suggest that you are finding it a bit of a struggle at present, because you're juggling several things, because you don't know if to hold on or how tight to hold on, or you're feeling that you are going to lose everything, so you are holding on to everything and not being creative and not being happy, and you're not gaining comfort by your wealth, whatever that wealth is. You are not gaining comfort, so that you will be affected by it all, and you will become exhausted. Don't become exhausted. And what is the outcome if you continue to behave like this? The outcome is overburdened, is the Ten of Wands. But you're on the home stretch, but you are overburdened. But you need to take that final push, because the success is almost yours. The end is in sight. You have overextended yourself a little bit, because you're hoarding, you're not paying your bills on time, you're not sharing, you're not creating ways and means to create new wealth or new material resources. You don't understand investments properly, or you are not investing properly. You have too many balls in the air with the Two of Pentacles and the Nine of Wands, but you are on the home stretch. So keep your head down and understand that you are nearly there. Success is around the corner for you, and you have to be a little bit of the High Priestess to have that inner voice, because the outcome will be the Ten of Wands. And we see the culmination of the consequences of too much energy and enthusiasm beginning to take its toll. You have been running yourself ragged physically by trying to keep what you have, and being the traditional person. But this card also suggests, this Ten of Wands also suggests it's a harvest time. That when we have done the work, the hard work, as we say, back-breaking work, it is now time for us to go into the fields to harvest what we have worked for, what we have planted. We are now going to reap what we have sown. And sometimes there is no way to avoid it, so it can be a case of of getting to where you're going with no shortcuts. You have to work for it. You have to work for it. It's a hard road, but you have to work for it. But the Ten of Wands often appears when you are entering the final stages of a project or a task or a job. The end is in sight, and you are entering that home stretch where your energy has been depleted. You are tired. You are saying, oh my goodness, no more. There are so many things that need to be sorted and arranged, but you are getting through. You are getting through. It's going to be a long haul, because pentacles are a long haul. It's not an easy fix. So that you are close to burnout, but you may be suffering from information overload because you are too traditional. You have given away your power to think for yourself and move on your own. So understand that you have right now. Use it wisely, otherwise you are going to burn yourself out. You are going to overburden yourself by not doing things that will make you comfortable or bring comfort in your life. The Hierophant is good for tradition, but the High Priestess is coming right after to tell you, hey, let's stop being the Hierophant, be the High Priestess now. This is the character and attitude that you are supposed to be feeling for this period, July 10th to 31st, that you have to listen to yourself to gain that inner wisdom. You have to have effort and patience to decipher the mysteries and unravel the dark side and the code that will unravel those mysteries. So that be the High Priestess now, that character, that attitude, so that you can juggle your finances, you can juggle what you have up in the air, all the things that you are sorting and arranging and redesigning, because at the outcome, if that is not done, you are going to overburden yourself. You will be on the home stretch, you will finally get there, but you are going to overburden yourself. So this is the message for you, Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius, for the period July 10th to the 31st, 2022. As you know, Bhagwan plays a great role in my life. I always thank him for bringing me to this period where I can transfer knowledge and share my research with you. I hope that all has been well with you and continue to be well with you, and that you understand that I wish to share and transfer my knowledge. I thank you for listening. I thank you for sharing. I hope that you can subscribe and sign up to my blog and my channel. As you know, I have started to leave a tutorial for you after this slide, so that you can understand why I do what I do at Zidam Astrology in terms of the trine concept, so that you will find 3 slides after this one if you are interested in learning my vision and learning the method and my analysis, utilization of the tarot and the Vedic astrology together to bring you this reading of a trine concept rather than an individual concept. Then do continue with this video in terms of looking at the final 3 slides to learn more at zidamastrology.com. Thank you so much, and a reminder again, sign up, share, and subscribe. Thank you so much. Okay, this is just a synopsis of the fire signs, Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius, and some of the characteristics that they bring for us. Fire is active, confident, assertive. The fire signs can't sit around and wait for something to happen and have to get up and do something. This makes them the most daring signs. They tend to have a lot of energy. They're very impulsive and hot-headed though, so that's a downside of it. And the fire signs, as we went through, are Aries, which is the most energetic of the 3, Leo, which is the most warm, and Sagittarius is optimistic of the 3. And like fire itself, the fire signs can be passionate, dynamic, and temperamental. It can keep you warm, but it can also do great destruction, because it only takes a spark to light a forest fire, and the ashes can regenerate itself from the air. So a single spark can set off an entire forest fire. So fire signs, they need to be nurtured and managed carefully. And this is the trine that I use in Zidam Astrology, Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius, because when you activate one, you activate all. They are in a trine. Okay, this is your tutorial. As I mentioned to you in this video, that I'm going to leave a tutorial so that you can see why I have formulated the Trine concept to read horoscopes at Zidam Astrology rather than read individual signs from Aries to Pisces for you. And I've found in my research and in my reading and from my teachings that there are commonalities between the tarot and the Kundali, which is your birth chart in Vedic astrology. So that these are the commonalities that have aligned together, that have created a method that will utilize the tarot and Vedic astrology to read and analyze for you in the Trine concept. And this is a Kundali or birth chart taken randomly on somebody born on April 21st, 2022 at 6 a.m. And this person's birth chart or natal placements are here for you to see that these are the placement. This is the fate of this person. This is the ascendant or lagna, as we say in Vedic astrology, where we say this is the first house of the 12 houses in the zodiac sign. So wherever the ascendant or lagna falls is where we denote in Vedic astrology your first house. And in this particular chart we go clockwise from Aries to Pisces so that we'll know where your first to 12th house falls. So your first house is Aries, your 12th house will be Jupiter. And each house in Vedic astrology denotes something. It denotes your wealth, your family, your siblings, your relatives, your children, your marriage, your father, your mother, your work, your career, your community, your luck, your spirituality, your illnesses, whether it's chronic or routine, you know, how you will earn your money, how you will lose your money, a multiplicity of things. And each of these houses has its significations that we read for you in Vedic astrology. So this is your natal chart. This is your fate. You cannot change the positioning of these planets in your Kundali, because this is the placement of the planets when you were born, the time you were born, and the place you were born. However, you cannot change fate, but you can change destiny. And destiny comes from the transit of the planets, because each of these planets, they move from one sign to the next during particular periods. And you can change your destiny through your freedom of expression and will, through your ambition, through your courage, so that you can change destiny. You can't change fate. And the transit of planets will give you a chance to change your destiny. And transits, planets move, as we see here, Saturn every 2.5 years, and so on and so forth. This is how planets move from one sign to the next. Neptune takes 14 years to move from one sign to the next. Mercury takes 1 month. Sun takes 1 month. And you will see these are the 12 planets that I deal with at Zidam Astrology, so that they are the ones that I look at and how they move. And every placement of a planet in a particular sign says something, does something, has an aspect on your natal planet, and it throws out potential or a pathway for you to understand what can be happening. You know, it is the natal chart is a map of what the sky was like on the day for us to know ourselves and to better understand the types of energy we have available for each moment and situation in life. And because of the transits where destiny can be changed, we can say that this placement is not decisive, but it shows options and it marks pathways in which we can utilize to make choices during our lifetime. And then we have the source code of astrology, and that FEAW is basically fire, earth, air, and water. Those are the trines that I look at, and the 4 elements are the source code of astrology, and they are the blueprint of your soul. You know, you become the architect of your destiny by using this blueprint of our soul. And the blueprint of our soul, one of the trines that I use, because it's the foundation, You know, one of the trines that I use is the Dharma Trikona. And the Dharma trine tells you that, you know, this is the trine that keeps us on the soul's mission, the accumulated merit and the manifestation of past karma. And this 159 denotes the houses 1, 5, and 9. And as you see, we have fire, earth, air, and water trines. So this is the source code of astrology. And tradition holds that religious duty, your dharma, is the primary aim of human life. Since it is the foundation which you develop your wisdom and your discretion to pursue wealth, which is artha, which is another trine, happiness, karma, which is a third trine, and we pursue these wealth and happiness from the wisdom we get from dharma, so that we will not compromise our chances of liberation, which is moksha, which is the fourth trine. But I use the first trine because it is the foundation, it is the primary aim of your birth on this earth. And Hinduism describes the Dharma trine as the natural universal laws whose observance enables us to be contented and happy and to save ourselves from degradation and suffering. So that dharma is the moral law combined with spiritual discipline that guides our life. You know, and this is what the dharma trine is. And I'm just going to pull up another version of the zodiac circle, the 12 signs, and I'll just give you an example so that this random Kundali or birth chart gives you Aries as the ascendant. And with Aries as the ascendant, that will be the first house. The first house will be Aries, the fifth house will be Leo, and the ninth house will be Sagittarius. And this is the trine. So Aries, Leo, Sagittarius is the fire trine. And with the fire trine, even if your first bhava is Leo, then Leo will be your first house, Sagittarius will be your fifth, and Aries will be your ninth. You will still remain in that trine if your ascendant moves from Aries to Leo or Sagittarius. And remember, your ascendant moves every 2.5 hours every day from one zodiac sign to our next in Vedic astrology. And then we have the earth trine, and the earth trine can begin with Taurus. And if it begins with Taurus, then you would have as your fifth house, you will have Virgo. As your ninth house, you will have Capricorn. And this is your earth trine. Then your air trine will be Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. That is your air trine. And obviously your water trine will then be Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces, so that all your signs are taken care of there, as you see. So these are the trines. And why I do the horoscope in trines is because Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn, when one is activated, each of these are activated because they are in a trine. They are in a dharma trine, where your duty, where your vision, where your wisdom are all created for you to understand that first house is you are born, then fifth house is your children, and the ninth house is your father. So you get the circle of evolution. Your father produces you with your mother. Your mother helps you throughout your life. When you are an adult, then you produce children. And that is where you get this circle of evolution, so that the dharma trine here is what connects each of these three signs in the zodiac. And then we have the tarot deck. And the tarot deck, as we know it, has wands, pentacles, swords, and cups. And you will see that the wands is with fire, the pentacles is earth, and swords are air, and cups are water. So that here now we have the commonality between the tarot deck and the zodiac astrology, the source code of astrology. So that, you know, this is what I find with the commonalities. There are so many other things that I can speak about, but this is the basic. You know, this is the basic. And if we have to talk about, you know, a tarot spread, you know that my go-to tarot spread is the Tetractys. And the Tetractys tarot spread comes from that Greek philosopher Pythagoras, who threw out for us the Pythagoras theorem. And he, you know, he can be viewed as a Vedic Brahmin, because three of the things he did or believed in was that he wore white exclusively, he was a vegetarian, and he believed in reincarnation. And his theorem existed in the Sanskrit texts in India. So that, you know, there we have the commonality again. And then even so, the tarot deck, the fire is clubs, pentacles is diamonds, swords is aligned to spades, and cups is aligned to hearts. So this is where we get the commonalities. This is where I can utilize a union of tarot and Vedic astrology to bring you a complex issue, but a different take on reading your birth chart, because you cannot live by yourself, you weren't born by yourself, and you can't grow up by yourself. There is a community, and that community brings the trine, so that you feel comfortable if you are in the fire trine with people from Leo and Sagittarius if you were born in Aries. Likewise, it goes so for the other trines. So this is my research, this is my method that I use, and I hope I was clear, complete, and concise. I ask that you share, sign up and subscribe, review my videos, look at my transit series, and I will join you next time. Thank you so much. Okay, so this is the trines synergy in Vedic astrology and tarot, you know, how they complement each other and how they have that symbiotic flow that works well with the marriage that I'm bringing to you. And trines are considered positive in Vedic astrology, as energy flows easily between the planets in trine, so that when you activate one, the trine is activated. So when you activate Aries, Leo and Sagittarius are also activated. And if you have planets in those signs, or planets or grahas posited in the nakshatras, those nakshatras with their relative deities and energies are activated, so that this brings more good luck, creative abilities and opportunities in one's life in the areas that these planets affect. Trines are the houses of Goddess Lakshmi. And remember, in Vedic astrology, houses or bhavas do not only start at Aries. They can start anywhere, be based on your ascendant or lagna position. And these houses form trines in a tarot reading, those that are at the angles of 120 degrees with each other. The trine in the tarot series 159 signify the present, the past and the future, which is the person himself, his children and his father. So 1 is you, yourself, 5 is your children, and 9 is your father. So this is the circle of evolution. So this is how the tarot and Vedic astrology are symbiotic in terms of the trines. But we also have in Vedic astrology the Kendra Bhavas, which I am not dealing with at this point in time. But you know, it's just for information, for you to understand the level and depth that Vedic astrology can go into, and the many tools that we have at our disposal to assist in your reading or your Kundalini and birth chart when you request one. And these Kendra Bhavas, it enhances the internal strength of an individual. Think about the pillars, you know, the 4 pillars of a room, which are holding it up. That is what these Kendra Bhavas do, you know. This can be the another analytical tool for your birth chart depending on your specific needs from Vedic astrologies. And Kendras are the houses of Lord Vishnu, just as the trines are the houses of Goddess Lakshmi. And these houses are related to stability, security and savings that overcome the limits of Goddess Lakshmi, which is related to the progress and development of a person but lacks stability. So these houses are 1, 4, 7 and 10, and this is just for your further information.